to grow and expand into who they are becoming because we're becoming platinum.
Man, I'm motivated now. see, got the motivation going. Okay.
Yes, welcome to Platinum Conversations in the Platinum Cafe. Today, we wish to engage you on a journey of enlightenment and hopefully growth that will propel you into higher levels of attainment in the thing that's meaningful to you in your life. Let's go.
I'm your host, Dietrich Jones, here with the magnificent Professor Robert Britt. Sir, how you doing?
Hey man, everything is good. Everything is platinum.
Yes, sir.
It's the platinum way, living a platinum lifestyle and having platinum opportunities to rise to the platinum level.
Another day for platinum opportunities. So, like we always do at this time, we want to start by giving a shout out to our Patreons, aka the Platinum Pack, aka our Platinum Partners. For as little as $5 a month, you can be a Platinum Partner and receive exclusive access to view the live recording of this podcast, a bonus episode every week, discounts on merchandise and tickets to live events, and of course, our unconditional love and appreciation. Go to www.platinumhitter.com to become a member. Subscribe today. You know, if $5 is too much for you, it's all good. We still love you, and we're glad that you're here with us today. So today we are introducing a series called Platinum Pillars, which is 6 main areas of focus for development of becoming a platinum hitter. And each of these pillars can be broken down into separate pieces, but the main pieces of it are family, friends, faith, finance, fitness, and future. And so we'll be talking about metrics for measuring success in those areas, looking at a higher perspective and how we can practically apply it in our day-to-day lives. So really what we're doing is I was thinking we could use these as a discussion to lay the groundwork for future discussions. So as we go into podcasts, you know, if we're jumping in and getting too deep in the weeds, we can always refer somebody back to these original episodes where we kind of discuss the terminology that we use and where we lay the groundwork for talking about these future things. And I was thinking a great place to start would be talking about faith.
Okay.
Because faith, and not faith in the strict biblical definition sense of what faith is, because I know that it's a trigger word for a lot of people. It can be a turnoff for a lot of people because of its religious connotations, but we are just talking about systems of belief. That's what we wanted to talk about. So let's jump right into the first question about faith. And is this a religious podcast?
It's not a religious podcast, but it has spiritual underpinnings and religious underpinnings in terms of nothing new being under the sun. There are references that will be made that tie into philosophical beliefs, spiritual beliefs, and also emotional frameworks that help people to really understand where they are and what tools they can use to become better at what they're looking to do and become in their lives.
Yeah, I reference the Bible and sources like that a lot in my personal and professional development, but also I have a way of understanding the material to where it's not necessarily applied so religiously.
Sure.
You know, you can take it out of the religious context and use it in your everyday life. And I don't really think that the Bible was meant to be strictly a religious book.
Yes. Yeah. And you know, and one of the things for me, because I have studied several different religions and I have a little bit of an understanding about several frameworks in terms of how people live, and I recognize and look at the fact that there are parallels and things that are interwoven into each belief system that connects it to the other. And so when we're looking at, as a platinum hitter, looking at these different belief systems and these different faith walks, or what have you per se, then we find that we are more alike than we are dissimilar. And so what we do and what we're trying to do is kind of, how can we find those threads of humanity in each belief system or what have you, so that everyone knows their point of connectivity with humanity. Because humanity is not about religion, and living is really not about religion, but the faith component that we engage in and the things that we kind of gravitate towards are basically those things that give us the means or the ability to articulate our lived experiences and tie it to something that adds value to how we live.
Absolutely, man. Very well said. Very well said. Yeah. So when we reference the Bible, I guess we're not really speaking from that religious background. We're really more speaking from the applicable background.
Yes, and there will be opportunities for us to have conversations with faith believers in different religions or what have you. And so there's going to be, whether it's going to be someone from the Islamic faith, someone from a Hindu faith, someone from a Christian faith, we may be speaking with spiritual leaders in all of these different capacities to help give the framework for all of our listeners, so that we're not just one-sided in our approach, not only to the things we're teaching, but also not one-sided in how we live our own personal lives.
Man, so true. Oh, I was telling my wife the other day, we were having a discussion about faith and the Bible, and we were saying, you know, God, or the concept of a higher being, is not limited to one religious text. It's not limited. You can't fit that knowledge into a book.
Yes.
You know, it's not clean cut and defined like that. And so I think it's very helpful for us and our listeners that we are pulling from multiple sources and using common truths instead of, you know, things that separate us, more so focusing on our similarities.
Sure.
I got a question for you. What role does faith or belief in something larger than yourself play in our training and mentoring?
One of the things that I lean towards is what I know. And what I know is what I've been taught and what I've learned throughout the course of my life. And so being raised in a Judeo-Christian household background.
What is that? I've heard that term, but I don't know. I honestly don't know what Judeo-Christian. I was probably raised like that, but I don't know what does that mean.
Well, it's basically a Christian philosophy or framework or what have you that takes components because Christ being a Jew by faith or what have you, and we are adapting or adopting the ways of Christ or what have you into our walk or what have you into our walk as Christians. And so when I say Judeo-Christian, it's the underpinnings of what Christ taught, how he taught it or what have you, taking those principles and those, because like for instance, when we look at Passover and look at Pentecost from a Christian perspective, those were Jewish traditions and things that happened during that time period or what have you. And so there was a transition from that Judeo perspective to a Christian perspective per se. And so it's just a blending or mixing of the two that gives you the underpinnings of how you function and live as a Christian in today's society.
Okay. I didn't mean to cut you off. Sorry, I just had a quick question there.
That's understandable. That's understandable. And so one of the things that I really look at is, especially as it relates to faith, faith kind of covers the what I believe, the how I believe, and the why I believe it. And so all of those things for me are rooted in, again, my upbringing. And so being raised in a Christian home that taught me about love, about friendship, about relationship, about striving, about being your best, about not hurting other people, about loving your neighbor as you love yourself, and being, one of our family friends always had this saying. He said, it's nice to be nice. And so when you struggle with how to treat someone, I always lean back to that. It's nice to be nice, because you learn basically what you're taught. And so when I look at faith, faith is like love. It's taught. Faith is like hate. It's taught. And so you learn these things that become behaviors in your life. And as we do in being in HR, you know that Dr. Grok had this philosophy of teaching in terms of how you recruit people is that you recruit based on their behavior. And it states that the best predictor of future behavior is past behaviors.
Mhm.
So what are those past behaviors, those learned behaviors that are consistent in the way that we do things that show what we believe, how we believe it, and why we believe it?
Mhm. Man, definitely. So our training is a part of shaping those beliefs
Mhm.
and retraining your mind to have different behaviors so that you
Mhm.
can have the outcomes that you want.
Yes. And it also talks to us about learning how to see ourselves differently than we are. And and from a different point, from a different perspective, because most people who want to aspire to something greater than themselves, oftentimes they don't have the tools to help them shift their thinking to get there. As platinum hitters, we have a set of tools that we can help individuals to really optimize and shorten that time of learning so that they can become their optimal best in a shorter period of time. And so utilizing these platinum tools and following the platinum way, it basically says that when I'm mentored by a platinum hitter, I've identified someone who's the very best. They're at the pinnacle, or they're heading towards the pinnacle in their chosen field, and they're bringing me along for the ride. And so I get a bird's eye view of what someone is doing in something that I'm interested in to help me become my best.
Yeah. So that brings me to the point when we talk about faith and when we talk about God and spirituality and things like that, we're not necessarily talking about like, I know one of the hot topics going around now is like the law of attraction,
Mm-hmm.
but we're not really talking about any magical or mystical kind of method for manifesting the things you want. It's more
Right.
about cause and effect, how your behaviors cause effects in your world and changing those behaviors really and the role that what you believe has on those behaviors, which then cause the effects.
Definitely. But I also want to add to that is that in that law of attraction, how I would like for platinum hitters to look at themselves and see themselves as magnets, because you will magnetize to yourself the things you think about most often. And so when we begin to think differently and shape our thoughts around the things that we want, and we begin to have a vision for what that looks like, then we get closer to those visions. And so the reason why so many of our visions or our dreams are so far away is because we don't have a crystallized vision for what that looks like. And therefore, because we don't have that vision, we don't have a pathway to get there. And so the magnetism, or the being a magnet, is that, and I'll give you an example of being that magnet. If you have recalled times in your life where you have been thinking about someone and they're just always on your mind, and you're just thinking about them, and all of a sudden the phone rings and it's that person. Or you turn a corner in a grocery store and then there they are. And so the people generally show up because you're drawing them to you based on your thinking. And so when you do your thinking in terms of how you want your life to become and what things you want to do in your life, you draw your dreams closer to you by you focusing on them and bringing them into focus.
Don't you hate when that happens though? Like that happens all the time with my uncle.
Mm-hmm.
He'll call me out the blue and I'll say, "Man, I was just gonna call you." And he'll, right,
Yes,
right.
exactly.
You were just
Yeah.
gonna call me.
Mhm.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, but that speaks to intention. And so you may have had the intention of calling, but didn't call. Like, for instance, using this as an example, so often when we hear individuals talk to us about things that are going on in their lives, and it could be troubling to them, and you say, "Oh, brother, oh, sister, I'm going to pray for you." Okay, you say, "I'm going to pray for you," but you never get to the prayer. You have every intention of doing so. So why not take the time right now, in this
Right
moment,
there.
in this minute, spend this 30 seconds, this 1 minute right now and pray? Because when you delay, that could be delaying their breakthrough. And so when you do it right in the moment, what they need could come right then and there.
Man, when you think about it, it could be God prompting you to do that thing right
Yes.
there.
Yes.
And there's something to be said about swift obedience, like
Yes.
do it now, don't delay.
Exactly.
It don't take that long.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And so there have been so many times where I have been the reason that somebody didn't get what they needed, because I said I'm going to do it later and didn't get to it. And I delayed it. And so being a platinum hitter is really about the intent of being great. I intentionally want to be great. I intentionally want to be the best. And so my intentions now as a platinum hitter are going to compel me to do that right thing, that best thing right now in the moment.
Hey, if you're not intentional about being great, you might accidentally be a failure.
Yeah. And some of us are accidentally great, because then we don't know what to do with our greatness once it arrives, or we don't maximize it. We don't maximize the opportunity. As a platinum hitter, I want to maximize the opportunity, maximize the learning, maximize the growth, so that when we're talking about not only the faith component of platinum pillars, but now we're going to be, when you have that episode where you talk about platinum families, and you talk about platinum fitness, and you're talking about platinum finances and having a platinum future, and having platinum relationships that lend to platinum friends. And so when you have these pillars that are holding up the structure of who you are, you're standing on a foundation of greatness because you have a platinum foundation.
Talk a little bit about alignment with that, though.
Yes.
Yeah. So having that alignment and having balance in all those areas is just as key as having that area be strong.
Right.
Because you could be strong in one area, but if it's out of alignment with the other areas, it's going to throw everything off.
Right. Like for instance, for me, one of my things, like for my two boys, they're 13 and 15. I just had the thoughts, what if my kids came in and say, when I say, son, what do you want to be when you grow up? They may say, I want to be an architect. I want to be an engineer. I want to be a mechanical engineer, is one of them. And the other said, I want to be an electrical engineer. So yes, they want to be this engineer. But what if they came to me and said, Dad, I want to be a platinum hitter? And so now when that platinum family thing, you're going to be that. But man, when you're intentionally desiring to be a platinum hitter, a whole new world opens up for you, because now you're part of a system or a process of greatness that refuses to let you down.
Accountability.
Yes.
Accountability is key.
No doubt. And that's platinum accountability, because in this arena, everything is platinum. Everything. And so we leave very little room for error, because we want to be great at what we do. It's not good enough just to be good, because a platinum hitter is the best at what they do. And so when people subscribe to the platinum channel and they come to a platinum seminar, they attend a platinum workshop, they're going to be getting the very best of who we are in those spaces. And when we have a podcast, the podcast is going to be the best of who we are in that moment. And so as we elevate and grow and expand in who we are becoming, they will also have that same opportunity to grow and expand into who they are becoming, because we're becoming platinum.
Man, I'm motivated now.
See, got the motivation going. Okay.
Yes.
So how can someone, what's like the first step then? If someone wants to become a platinum hitter, what would be the first step that you would recommend somebody to do?
Well, first have a desire. Have a desire to want something other than what you have, or to maximize what you have. And then just go to one of our websites, whether it is www.platinumhitter.com or www.backporchtc.com. And so we have a training and consulting component of what the platinum hitters present and what we're able to do. But just connect with us through those portals and let us know what your needs are, what your desires are, how you want to grow. And then we will customize a process and a plan for you to follow, whether it's going to be looking at what the platinum affirmations are, whether you are being plugged into a system with a mentor that will help guide you through your process, or you're given a set of tools that's going to help enhance the life that you want to live and that you are living, so that you can live the life you desire to live.
See, saying sometimes all it takes is one person to believe in you.
Yes.
All it takes is one person to come by and give you the opportunity, or to hold you accountable, hold your feet to the fire, to really pull out, the thing that that needs to happen mentally within yourself
Yes.
to be able to take yourself to the next level.
Right.
You know,
And yes, and when I say everything platinum, I really mean everything platinum. And so you talk about accountability, it's not just accountability, it's platinum accountability, because that's a higher standard. Platinum standards. And so we're going to be creating, and it's in the process right now, a platinum dictionary that have all the platinum terminology or what have you that we use, so that you really understand the framework for what platinum life and what a platinum lifestyle looks like. When you develop a platinum vocabulary, and everything you talk about and do and become becomes platinum, the world changes because you're in it. And that's one of the goals for being a platinum hitter, to change the world that you're in for the better.
Man, see, I didn't prepare questions. I didn't prepare questions this deep. You know, I had a couple questions, but yeah, man, that's excellent. I mean, wow. Yes.
And so one of our goals, I believe, is to set out a framework for how people can see the vision of what Platinum Hitters is all about. It's not just I'm wearing a shirt that says I'm a platinum hitter. It's not just wearing a hat that says I'm platinum hitter. It's not just writing in your platinum notepad and writing your platinum dreams. It's really about how can I tap into a system of success that works consistently. It's almost like having an ISO 9000 certification. You know that process is going to be certified because it's been tried, it's been tested, and it's now true. And so now you can believe in it.
Hey, Rob, and what I hear you saying is that it's not even so much about the words platinum hitter. It's about the actions behind what you're saying. It's not about the shirt, not about the hat. It's about the head that the hat's on. It's about the heart behind the shirt, you know. It's about all those things that really will make you a platinum. Like a platinum hitter is just a terminology, you know. You could call it whatever you want. A rose by any other name smells just as sweet. But it's what are you doing with that, you know.
And so when I'm looking at the design of the Platinum Way, there are a set of platinum principles that I desire to follow. And mind you, I won't get everything right, but I need you to help me in the areas where I'm not fully developed. And so we are mentoring and helping and coaching and developing one another as we go, because this whole journey about being a platinum hitter is really about a journey of self-discovery. And so when I discover not only my gifts, but I'm discovering what I'm gifted at, I'm discovering what things I'm gifted in, I'm discovering who I am as an individual and what's my individual purpose for the life that I live. Who can I impact? Why will I impact them? And for how long? And so me being a platinum hitter, you told me once before, he said, Robert, you are the platinum hitter. And because I'm the platinum hitter, I have to be the example of what platinum is.
Yeah, I'm following you.
And I'm following you.
It's like I was thinking about a seed, because we've talked a lot about seeds and growth and trees and things like that. And a seed, you know, it knows what it's supposed to become, perhaps, but it doesn't perhaps know how it's going to look when it gets there. And like I said, sometimes it only takes one person to come along, water that seed. It's getting the proper sunlight and the nutrients, and the seed sprouts. When the shoot comes out of the ground, it grows leaves, and the leaves are the part that actually do the collecting of the sunlight. And that leaf is a new, like, that process is called photosynthesis, but that's a new strategy that seed is employing to collect nutrients. And the seed is now doing things that it didn't know it could do, because all it's doing is becoming what it already is. It's just growing. Because one person came along and gave it what it needed to take it to the next level. And now it's performing at a level where it didn't even know it was going to be doing that. And I think that's what happens with us. That's what happened when you kind of called me to produce the podcast. And you're like, hey, I need, content. Well, I need to put this together. I need you to do this. And I'm like, all right, I accept.
Okay.
Right. And so now I'm doing things I had no idea I could do that. I believe. Yeah, I can learn, but you know, sometimes all it takes is one person to hold you accountable, one person to call you to your greatness, for you to step out and do things that you didn't know you could do.
Yes. And the thing about what we're looking for and what we're doing is recognizing that there are hidden treasures in each of us. And our goal in discovering the platinum way for ourselves is to expose you to the greatness that is already inside of you and to give it permission to come out. Because everything in your life will operate on a basis of permission. And so you will either give yourself permission to become a platinum hitter, or you will talk yourself out of it, being a platinum hitter, because of mindset, because of you. Sometimes we just need to see someone else do it before we jump in and want to do it. But we're giving everyone an opportunity to follow us on Twitter. Look us up, Platinum Hitter on Twitter. Follow the feeds that we have on Facebook at Hitting Platinum or Platinum Hitter on Twitter. Instagram. Follow us so that we can find ways by which to connect with you where you connect with others. Because then you will begin to stand out. Because not everybody you know is a platinum hitter. You may be the first among your friends to become a platinum hitter. And that's a badge of honor. To say I'm the first among the people I know to become a platinum hitter. Because now I'm on a different playing field.
Okay, that's enough game for one episode. Thank you all for coming. Come back every Wednesday for a new episode. In the meantime, find us on all major social media outlets at Platinum Hitter and our website, platinumhitter.com. Make sure you hit that like button and subscribe if you're new. Until next time, love and peace.